They will hate you, not because you harmed them, not because you cheated, lied, or stole. They will hate you because you refuse to crawl, because you refuse to kneel to their fake gods, their fake rules, their fake lives. Society demands obedience or chaos, and Sigma males choose a third path: freedom. That's unforgivable. The world has been brainwashed into believing you either dominate or submit. They can't comprehend the man who walks away from the circus, burning the tent on his way out. So they label you, fear you, resent you, but they'll never understand you, and that's why they hate you. You are a glitch in their program, a flaw in their perfect, predictable machine. You do not seek their approval. You do not beg for their acceptance. You reject their offerings of shallow success and empty validation. You look them in the eye, and without a single word, you expose them. You show them that it was always a choice, that freedom was always within reach. They didn't lack opportunities. They lacked the guts. And because you chose to rise where they chose to rot, they will seethe. They will whisper. They will scheme. They will call you arrogant, selfish, dangerous. Good. Wear their hatred like armor. It means you are awake. It means you are free. It means you are everything they are too terrified to become. Here's why every breath you take as a Sigma male feels like a middle finger to the status quo. 1. Sigmas turn their chains into your wings. They live by invisible chains, rules, expectations, and silent agreements forged from fear. They are born into cages they never question, and they spend their lives decorating those cages, calling them homes, calling them careers, calling them the right thing to do. They cling to rusted bars and pass them down to their children, thinking this is life. But Sigmas, you took those chains and broke them over your knee. You forged wings from them. Every "you can't" they threw at you became the iron you smelted into your escape. Every whispered "be realistic" became fuel for your engines. Every expectation became a map of exactly what you would never become. When you refuse their shackles, you reveal how flimsy they really were. You show that the prison was never locked, that the walls were made of paper, that the guards were figments of fear, and once you escape, you make it impossible for them to lie to themselves about having no choice. You paid it. They didn't. That's why they hate you, because you took the same chains they used as blankets and you built wings to fly beyond their reach. 2. Sigmas see through the mask they wear. They have built entire identities out of thin air. They don't know who they are. They know only who they pretend to be. Masks on top of masks, smiling when they want to scream, nodding when they want to rebel, obeying when every cell in their body aches to disobey. Sigmas see right through it. Your eyes are knives to their carefully constructed lies. And when you don't validate their mask, when you refuse to play their theater, it is an act of psychological violence against everything they built. Without your approval, their illusion starts to crack. They start to wonder if everyone sees the fraud they are. You, simply by existing authentically, are a wrecking ball to their carefully crafted lies. That's why they hate you, because your truth makes their entire existence look like a desperate performance. 3. Sigmas don't play their survival games. They live in a mindset of survival, not conquest. They aim to fit in just enough not to get noticed, to rise just enough not to be threatened, to dream just enough not to risk. Their lives are carefully calculated mediocrities. They think that's smart. You think that's death. You don't just survive, you dominate. You don't fit in, you carve out new worlds. You refuse to play it safe because you know safety is the graveyard of greatness. Sigmas refuse to think small, refuse to live in fear, refuse to reduce your existence to getting by. And that refusal shakes them to their core because it exposes the little voice in their heads they've tried so hard to silence, the one that whispered that maybe, just maybe, they could have done something greater if they hadn't sold out. You are the living proof that survival isn't enough, that thriving is possible, that being average is a choice, not a necessity, and that makes you public enemy number 1 in the kingdom of mediocrity. 4. Sigmas destroy the illusion of safety. They worship safety like it's a god. They build padded cells and call them homes. They sacrifice freedom on the altar of security, believing that if they just play nice enough, the wolves will never come. But you know better. Sigmas know safety is an illusion, a dream sold to the masses, to keep them obedient and afraid. You don't just step out of the safety bubble, you burst it with a sledgehammer. You live in the real world, where risk is real, where danger is real, where life demands courage. They hate you because you remind them that safety was never guaranteed, that life is war and pretending otherwise is suicide. Your bravery shames their cowardice. Your risks mock their compliance. You make them remember that life is meant to be lived on the edge or not at all. Femte Sigmas hold power without needing attention. They need the world to clap for them to feel alive. They need titles, awards, likes, followers, constant reminders that they matter. Sigmas? You don't need any of it. Your power is internal, self-charged, unstoppable. You build silently. You conquer quietly. You win without witnesses. And nothing terrifies them more than a man who doesn't need applause to validate his existence. Because if you don't need their attention, they can't control you. If you don't crave their approval, they can't manipulate you. You are a ghost in their machine, a king with no crown, no court, no need for ceremony, and your silent dominance makes their loud desperation look pathetic. Sixth Sigmas. Question what they call truth. They have swallowed whole the lies of the system, that authority is wisdom, that obedience is virtue, that success follows the rules. You spit it all out, you question everything. You tear apart their sacred cows, expose their fairy tales, mock their blind faith. You are the heretic at their mass, the skeptic at their sermon. You see the cracks in every institution they worship: school, work, government, religion, and you are not afraid to say, "This is bullshit." And because you question what they blindly accept, you expose the fraud behind the facade. You force them to confront terrifying truths, that maybe their heroes are liars, their gods are dead, and their rules are chains. 7. Sigmas are unreachable by their manipulations. Their whole system is built on emotional manipulation, guilt, shame, fear, social pressure. They expect you to bow when they shame you, to comply when they guilt you, to retreat when they ostracize you. But you don't. You smile. You stand firm. You walk alone if you must. You are immune to their greatest weapon, the fear of being different. You would rather be hated for who you are than loved for who you are not. And that terrifies them more than anything, because it means they have no power over you. Sigma's emotional independence is a fortress they cannot breach. And every time they fail to move you, they realize how weak they truly are. 8. Sigmas redefine success in a way they can't grasp. To them, success is a checklist: diploma, job, spouse, mortgage, retirement. A life of quiet desperation disguised as making it. To you, success is the conquest of self, the building of something real, something yours, something that echoes after you are gone. They hate you because your goals are not their goals. Your dreams are not their dreams. You are not chasing the same prizes, and so they cannot compete with you, cannot beat you, cannot even understand you. You play a different game on a different field with different rules, and the fact that you don't even acknowledge their scoreboard drives them mad. 9. Sigmas kill the idea that they are victims. They need to believe they are victims of bad luck, of bad systems, of bad parents, of bad breaks. It lets them off the hook. It absolves them of responsibility for their failures. But you refuse to play that game. You take full ownership of your life, your wins, your losses, your scars. You own your choices, your consequences, your destiny. And by doing so, you prove that victimhood is a lie, that most chains are self-imposed, that most prisons are built from the inside out. Your very existence as a free, powerful, independent being shatters the comforting delusion that they are trapped. And once that delusion is shattered, they have no excuse left, only the crushing realization that they chose mediocrity. 10th, Sigmas make freedom look possible. You are the proof they don't want to see. The proof that freedom is not a fantasy, not a slogan, not a myth, that it is real, that it is attainable, that it demands sacrifice, pain, courage, but it is within reach. You are the living contradiction to every excuse they've ever made. You make them see that the door was never locked, that the walls were never real, that the guards were never there. You make them realize that they could have walked out at any time, but they didn't. And now they have to live with the knowledge that the only thing keeping them caged was themselves. That's why they hate you, because you didn't just break free, you showed that they could have too. On a final note, they will hate you? Good. It means you're doing it right. It means you're awake. It means you're free, or it means you're alive. Sigma males don't bow. They don't beg. They don't explain. They don't break. They build, they conquer, they endure. They walk alone and they win alone. This is your life. Own every savage, brutal, beautiful second of it. And let them drown in their hate while you carve your legend into the bones of the earth.